Good afternoon. Today we're talking about stance and why it's important in archery. All right, so we're going to work on stance today. So we heard earlier in the series from our professional pro shop owner, Bill Thomas, that the bow is the machine, right? The machine's going to do the same thing every single time, time after time after time. And what we need to work on as archers is ourselves. We're going to try to make our bodies a machine so we do the same thing every single time, time after time after time. If we can combine ourselves and the bow together and we're all doing the same thing every time, we're going to be really consistent and really accurate downrange. And for today, it's going to be a simple video. We're going to start with our stance. And I'm going to teach the girls an open stance. It gives the best string clearance for a bow. It gives really good stability. And I think it's the best stance that you can put yourself in as a compound archer. So to teach them that, what I'm going to have them do is I'm going to have them line up with that target behind me here. And I'm going to have them stand with their heels and toes touching and their arms down at their sides in a nice relaxed position. No, this is not a field sobriety test. We are going to work on this, right? So from there, I'm going to have the girls bring their hands up and we're going to put them in front of us, right? So we kind of put our hands right in the middle and pointing at that target. From there, we're going to take an arrow and we're going to place it in between our feet with the knock end towards us and the pointy end towards the target. Now from there, right, now we got that nice straight line to the target. We're going to come around the side of our arrow and you're going to put your rear foot to the rear of the arrow. Take your front foot, put it to the instep of your rear foot, and then we're just going to stand feet approximately shoulder width apart. Now you've created a really nice open stance. It's going to allow for that string travel to come past your arm. It's going to give you a very stable shooting position. Now, once you have that stance created, and so we would burn it into our memory bank, what we're going to do is we're going to pick that arrow up off the ground without moving our feet, take a handy can of spray paint, and at the tip of each toe, you're going to make two little dots in your grass. Don't do it on your blacktop. Don't do it on your cement. Your wife will not like it if it's on the cement. But that's going to give you a solid reference point now as you're shooting your bow for the next week or 10 days, that every time I come back, I put the tips of my toes on those two dots. It's lined up with my target, and now I know my stance is in the correct position, right? We need like 5,000 or 6,000 reps to make it muscle memory. So that's going to serve as a reminder, especially if you have little kids. If you have little kids, this is where they like to dance around, and one time their feet are this way, and one time they're that way, and sometimes they're backwards and reversed. And so this serves as a good reminder for them to walk up and go, I got to put my toe here, and I got to put my toe there. And that's going to give them a good solid start. Okay, now that we have our two little dots painted on the ground in front of our toes and we're standing on our dots, let's talk about the rest of the body. Now, once you're standing on your dots, that's it. There's no moving your feet. At any time during your draw cycle, you don't want to move your feet, because when you're doing this and you're taking those steps, you're now changing your form. Once we put our toes on the dots, they should remain on the dots. Going from your feet up, what I like to do is I prescribe to the Bernie Pellegrino style of shooting, where it's like center of gravity, baby, center mass, right? So I have most of my weight on the balls, towards the balls of my feet. I tend to put a little bit more weight on my front hip, my front leg, compared to my rear leg. So I'm roughly like 85, 15, something like that. My 85 is different than yours, but I have a little bit more weight towards the front of on my front leg than I do my rear leg. My knees are bent slightly, okay? My upper body's above my knees are above my toes. And now I just look over my shoulder to address my target, and now I'm in like a good starting position. From here, I will start to address the bow. I'll put my hand in the bow, get my proper grip in my release, hook up, draw, aim, and execute from here, right? But this is my starting position. I want this to be a neutral, comfortable position. I don't want to be fully stretched out or really tense. I want this to be nice and relaxed. And I think a lot of times when people are getting into this stance or they're getting into archery, they're kind of nervous about the shooting process. And as they're getting ready to shoot, their feet are all over the place. Their stance shifts all the time, which means their shoulders shift all the time. And they're constantly doing different things with their upper body, which makes their draw length a little bit inconsistent, makes your anchor point a little bit inconsistent. And we start adding those inconsistencies in, well, then we can't, get a good shot cycle going, and we're just not as accurate as we possibly can be. So this is where we're going to start today. And here's a couple videos of the girls shooting and me working with them on getting a good stand.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all I have time for this week. This is really a simple video. Working on your stance is one thing you can focus on for the next 3 to 5 days just to get this burned into your muscle memory. Next week, we're going to take a look at grip, and we're going to just focus on the grip and how we can make sure we put our hand into the bow every single time. And there's a trick to it. You got the lifeline. Everything stays to this side of the lifeline, but we'll talk about that next week. Until then, have a great week. Shoot straight.